Hello everyone, my name is Senzo and welcome to the cleanse. So without further ado, let's get into this video. But before we get into that video, please do me a big favor by smashing that like button, because guys, we are going down. The algorithm is so funny because it's almost like if you know what I mean. It's like you always have to patch it by uploading consistently like we always do. Otherwise, the arrows just start pointing down. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do because this channel, it is all about the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial and the High Court is on recess. Can the algorithm understand that? But anyways, guys, I woke up. Look at me, I'm in my robe because y'all not giving me peace. You are just going there into my Instagram DM and asking me to make a video about the ministerial positions that were appointed by Cyril Ramaphosa. And then in particular, you guys want to hear my opinion about the appointment of Senzo Zuma, who is the Minister of Police, as well as Groenewald being the Minister of Correctional Services. And I'm like, huh? Okay, cool. I know that on Sunday I did a whole rant without realizing that the president of the country was going to announce finally his cabinet ministers. And I was like, cool. Maybe in this country we need to make some noise before we are heard. But other than that, guys, I will tell you one thing and one thing only about the appointment of Senzo Zuma. I am excited about it. I am positive about it. And you know why? Because Senzo Zuma once upon a time was my premier in KwaZulu-Natal and he hates corruption. The man despises corruption. That is why I believe he is basically climbing the ladder in the political realms, and he is now Minister of Police, which I think it is a significant position in the government. I don't know if it's a senior or just somewhere in the middle, but it is a very important position. And knowing him being the hater of corruption, I think we may actually see some real changes when it comes to crime statistics in this country. Because number one, Senzo Zuma, not to disrespect him, he's a short guy. And then I believe as short as he is, he also has a very short temper. If something does not go right, he will blow up steam until something is done right. And that's one thing I like about his appointment, particularly in this department. And the second thing that I like about Senzo Zuma, he is very strategic. He's a person who's a little bit quiet. It's not quiet, it's because he's studying the situation, he's looking at the angles, and he looks at how this is going to be resolved, and then he pounces. And then when he pounces, there is results. That is one thing I like about him. So with the police force, whatever it is that we call it, I would like for him to do an assessment on the police force, the South African Police Services. He needs to get a full report on what police that actually went to the police academy. They must produce certificates if there are certificates that are given, and also what police officers got these jobs because of a friend or a family or a relative or somebody they slept with and gave them and slapped them with a uniform, a service pistol, and said, now you're a police officer. He needs to go as well and look at how many police officers in this country are either suspected of a crime, Zungu, just allegedly. He needs to also check the qualification for a police officer. Is it still matric? Is there any way that we can increase this? Because what we have witnessed in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is that you have police officers who could not express themselves in a logical way. Some were able to express themselves due to experience, like Mchali. But most just were like, what are you talking about? And then I liked Advocate Mshololo's angle when she used to ask the qualification of the police officer that is going to take the stand or an expert. Of course, the state did have an issue with that. I don't know why she dropped it at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, one needs to know, what am I dealing with here if I am cross-examining? Do I have to stick to your level, drop my standard, or whatever the case might be? But importantly, so that we can make a determination whether the witness that is on the stand, like Pinky, is it really an expert or somebody who did a 2-week course and as a result came back with a certificate, and then now Judge Rata sees them as experts. So this is one of the things that I believe Senzo Zuma needs to do. And then Senzo Zuma also needs to make a psychological assessment with the police officers that used to be police officers in the 80s, because those guys are still apartheid police officers. And we have heard all the tactics that were allegedly used on Bongani Ntanzi as well as Muzi Sibiya when they were being tortured. These were torture tactics that were used by the security police during the days of apartheid. We even heard, I think it was Mthokozisi Tumelo, who said he was picked up from Mlazi by Buthelezi, I'm not quite sure who else, to Pretoria, where he was tortured. And they laid a mattress, and not a mattress, a mat, so that when he urinated, he would not mess the floor, but mess the mat. All those sort of stuff. It's something that we need to understand in a constitutional democracy. If these people understand that they cannot do these things, they cannot treat people in the manner in which that they do, the torture of suspects. He needs to do an entire investigation on all of these things. The investigation on Section 35 of the Constitution. If the police officers understand this section, and if they know this section, what it entails, and when it comes to a suspect who is not of a particular tribe, do they have somebody who speaks their language, etc., and so on, to speak to them in that manner, instead of hearing Ipoiso Kulu. There is so many things that Senzo Zuma needs to look into in order to clean the police force. What we are having right now, I'm not quite sure what is it that we have. He also needs to investigate this so-called cold case unit. Where is it provided in the Criminal Procedure Act? Where is it provided in the South African Police Act? Where is it provided in the South African Constitution? Where is it provided anywhere, whether in a judgment of a high court or constitutional court? And what is the mandate of this particular unit? And how did it came about? And what was its purpose? And is it the purpose of this unit to find people like the man that stand accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa to be smeared with cases such as this one? And also, he needs to find out, I don't know how, by looking into the so-called detectives, their investigative skills. Is it on par when it comes to the global standard, or they need to be retrained? I don't know what he needs to do. And lastly, I think, look into the Hawks. Look into the Hawks, and I'm not saying the Hawks are doing bad or anything. For me, it always looks like the Hawks are just lingering around, not particularly doing what we used to see the Scorpions used to do in the past. Maybe he needs to look into that and give them some teeth to sting, to bite. Oh, by that, I mean they have the right to investigate, to prosecute, and obviously all the other stuff that will give them some kind of power to once again restore law and order, like how it used to be when the Scorpions used to be around. I get it, that the whole purpose of the Hawks was so that the Minister of Police, who is also a comrade of the comrades, in case a comrade is accused of a certain crime, whether it's corruption, racketeering, or money laundering, that the minister is able to see the names of the people, of his comrades that are being investigated, so he can give them the heads up, or lose the docket and things like that. And hence we have not seen any corrupt politician in the past, how many years? Almost 20 years, where a corrupt politician is arrested. Right now, we're seeing Zizi Godwa, who was accused of 1.2 million rand corruption. He was arrested, brought before a court, and yet the IEC Act talks about when you are accused of a crime or you have been arrested and the 5-year period after your conviction and your release has lapsed, then you can stand as a member of parliament. I'm not quite sure how all of this is legal to begin with, but here he is, he's a member of parliament. I understand that one is innocent until proven guilty, but why don't you just clean your house by saying, listen, we lost the majority of the votes in this country because of this sort of acts? Why could they just put him aside and say, listen, go and clear your name. Once your name has been cleared, then we will remove whoever is holding your position as a member of parliament, and then you resume from there. No, he's back in parliament, which is quite interesting to think. And I'm not quite sure what is the relationship between Senzo Zuma and Meyiwa. I'm not sure who is pro Zuma and who's pro whoever, because there's always some kind of faction going on in the then governing party. So I'm not quite sure, because if they are indeed best of friends, or at least they are cordial with each other, and there may be investigations that may lead to exposing Meyiwa, I don't think we'll ever see the light of day of those accusations and suspicions, if indeed. But because I know Senzo Zuma is anti-corruption, he will blow that out of the water. That is for sure. And I'm very happy about that. I'm also, the question as well was about the Correctional Services Minister, which is Groenewald. What's his name again? Groenewald. I think having him, I'm not quite sure what his background is when it comes to correctional services and things like that. However, I would like him to look into the constitutionality of most of our correctional services facilities, and if the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa is being adhered to. We keep hearing prisoners complaining about one thing or another, smuggling of cell phones and all that other stuff, including RPing of newcomers in prisons. I'm not quite sure that politics there, but it looks like there's a lot that needs to be done. If the Thabo Bester escape is anything to go by, I think he needs to do a thorough investigation, not only on Mangaung Correctional Service Center, but all of the correctional facilities in South Africa, to see if the people that actually are responsible in safeguarding the people of South Africa against hardcore criminals, if indeed they are doing the job. Because we've heard rumors before that sometimes Inkabi, meaning the hitmen, are not the people that are hired in Nongoma, KwaZulu-Natal, or somewhere in Ladysmith or something like that, but they are inside prison. They are taken out to commit a heinous crime and brought back into prison, so that when the investigators lift the fingerprints, they'll be like, but we lifted fingerprints of somebody that's already in prison. That does not make sense, and therefore that case goes cold, and if it goes cold, it will never be resolved. So he needs to look into all of that kind of corruption, if indeed that corruption is going on in our prisons. There's so much that needs to be done. Home Affairs, I understand the DA took the Home Affairs, and I'm hearing all kinds of conspiracy theories. I don't believe those conspiracy theories at all. But my only problem with this type of appointment is that most of the businesses in South Africa that exploit illegal foreigners happen to be people that support the DA. So the DA, sometimes it does protect the interest of its followers and voters. And so they may go there and say, listen, you do not touch this sector of the foreign nationals because we get to exploit them. And they don't have any constitutional or labor relation rights in this country. That's the only thing that I'm observant about or reserved about. And I am hoping that they're not going to do that, because at the end of the day, South Africans, they want the Department of Home Affairs to be cleaned, simply because that place is a horrible place to go to. Trust me, last year when I went to renew my passport, it took me few days to pluck up the courage and say to myself, go to Home Affairs, because it is not a nice place to be. It's like our hospitals. I don't know, the Minister of Health, if they were able to clean that one as well, because it is horrendous. Police stations are horrendous for South Africans to go to. If there are 3 departments that South Africans hate to go to, it's the Department of Home Affairs, it's the police station, as well as our hospitals and clinics, because of the way South Africans are treated. So all of these things, we'll see how this government of national unity is going to clean and also put the people of South Africa first. Like we said, we are observing the department that you have been assigned to. We know which political party you belong to, and we will see your performance. And according to your performance, that's how you will be able to also raise the flag of your organization, by implementing and changing the lives of people of South Africa. And also when it comes to, oh my goodness, defense went to Njimutsecha. We're already having situation with our intelligence in South Africa. But let's see, let's give her a chance. Maybe she was not meant to be in education, but as a Minister of Defense, I don't know. We'll see. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development is a lady as well. I am happy about her appointment. She looks like somebody that can actually implement a lot of changes that will change the lives of the people of South Africa when it comes to that. I hope she respects the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and understands that it is the supreme law of the land, and that she makes sure that our judges, oh gosh, don't get me started about that one, because we have a pain in, where the sun don't shine, a retired judge. And I think she needs to come up with a program of retired judges, if they are supposed to sit in an active trial, or they should be subjected to commissions and tribunals and things like that. Because no, we are traumatized by Judge Rata as already. And I hope there is something that she can come up with in subduing this judge. Also, finding out about the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, what is holding it up? With all the evidence, I hope that she gets to take whatever has been discussed. I understand that the separation of powers and all of that, but I am still on the, on the route of checks and balances, because there's no way that this trial just could continue going on like this, and there's no end. And yet, all evidence show that the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa is none of these 5 men that sit in front of this judge, and yet this trial continues to happen. So we want to see a lot of changes in key positions of our government. Like I said, the ones that really touch us on at the grassroots are the ones that we want to see a lot of changes. So with the other ministerial positions, we'll definitely take this elephant one bite at a time. I just wanted to focus on these ones that I talked about, that you guys have been asking me, especially the appointment of Senzo Zuma and the one of Gayton McKenzie. How I feel, I guess we'll talk about it in the next video, because I felt that at the end of the day, all of these appointments, from where I am standing, they seem to be mature. They seem to be intellectually put together in a way, or in a strategic way, that will serve the people of South Africa. Kudos to Cyril Ramaphosa for this. For the first time ever, I am giving Ramaphosa his flowers on this one. I am positive about the government of national unity, as I've said in the beginning. It's just that I got really, really upset when they were doing this nonsense of playing childish games with letters and pulling carpets under each other's feet. And South Africans are just sitting there like sitting ducks. I mean, stuff was happening. Without a government, we could not move forward. But I'm so happy. I'm glad. Congratulations, South Africa. But let's make sure that we hold each and every one of these ministers accountable. Like I said, and I repeat this recommendation, that whenever there's an impasse or a stalemate in negotiations, roll up the cameras. Let us see who are the troublemakers, so that we make notes, so that we hold them accountable, and also hold them accountable at the ballot paper every time when we go to an elections. I hope I managed to cover everything. Yeah, I was starting to fall asleep, y'all. I was starting to fall asleep, and then y'all just, buzzing me up. But anyways, I'm glad that I was able to tell you my mind on this appointment. I thought I was going to avoid it and just talk about it in the channel membership. Guys, the channel membership is growing really, really slow. Can you please, if you want to, it's not a must, it's not a must, please do join so that we can have some fun talking about these sort of things, I was reserved these sort of thoughts for the channel membership. But other than that, I also want the general honorable members of the clan to also hear my thoughts on this stuff that's going on. Other than that, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much, everybody that's super thanking the channel, because you guys continue to super thank the channel even though I'm not uploading. I appreciate y'all so very much. May you be abundantly blessed. Also, do leave a comment down below. I don't know, whatever ministry that you feel like you want my opinion on, please leave it in the comment section, and definitely I will tell you what my thoughts are going forward. And congratulations to the government of national unity. We will support you as long as you put us first. And also, share this video far and wide. I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye and good night. But this video you see it the following day in the morning. Ciao, guys.